my sisters, my nieces, my nephews. Let me just get myself send this through to an entourage. Okay, so we're back. Just forwarded that link to the entourage, and I'm back at home here in Republika Srpska. I've just been for a little wee nighttime session tonight. A wee nighttime session. I just went for an evening shop about 8 p.m. And then in my little area, I saw there was a sort of restaurant bar that was open. I went in there, had like a dessert snack, had a coffee, and I spoke to the people on the table next to me. I was like, is there anything good going on around this area? Is there anything underground I should know about? And I was like, that was a good almost approach in of itself. The women were okay on the table, and there was this typical Balkan, 55-year-old guy chain smoking with these two young women. And they were like, yeah, probably more to the center. And I had my shopping with me. I had my rucksack, and I thought, fuck it, let's go into the center. And while I was in there, I also made a video which was titled "Looks Maxing is for Women, Grow Up." So that's another video you might want to refer to. The title itself pretty much summarizes it. But yeah. So what I wanted to talk about on this live was money, looks, money, looks, status, but money and looks, the manosphere, and relationships. So let's go through this. I made a little note when I got back. I just went down to central Sarajevo, did some approaches down there. I thought, shall I go hit some bars? That was the idea. But actually, when I actually got down there, I thought, let me just do some street approaches, just speak to the girls in the streets. And just one thing you can always do if you're in the streets, stop, like if you're in a new city, or even if you've been there for a while, you can stop people and say, hey, I'm new around here, where are the bars at? And they'll stop and have a conversation with you, and they'll usually be quite helpful. Then you can get into a bit of conversation with them, and also compliment them as well on how they look, especially if it's girls who are dressed up. And so I did like 5 or 6 approaches like that. That was basically just my warm up for the weekend. So people who are freaks in the chat here, you can fuck off, please. Yeah. Galen, happy birthday if that's actually true, but other people can fuck off who've been weird. This is that was the evening basically. And as I say, you can always in any new city, you've always got a license to do that. And you shouldn't be. This is a problem with a lot of people who come into the whole space, right? They're thinking completely incorrectly. So I go out and I speak to 5 or 6 different groups of people. I'm looking face to face at maybe 10 beautiful women, complimenting them, having a conversation with them. What's that doing to me for when I go out for the rest of the weekend? It's making me very natural in that situation. It's seasoning me in that situation. Makes it very easy for me. Okay. So it's off the bat, beautiful girls off the bat, complimenting them, talking about the local areas. This is very, very good for me to do. This is what you should be doing. Most people who come into Cold Approach, this is a Cold Approach relationship channel. I didn't realize this when I came in to work with Christian. I thought the majority of guys would be like me and Ephraim. That's what I thought most people would be like. I thought that would be almost everyone would be like that. Actually, no, the opposite. A lot of people are gravitating towards daytime because they can't do anything else. Yeah, they're actually the worst people to be doing it. Or we've got self-esteem problems, we've got mental issues. Yeah, there's no shade to those people, but of all the things to do, if you have these problems, I can't think of almost anything worse than Cold Approach, to be honest with you. It's actually shocking to me to see some of the shit I've seen over the last year. But it's in a way it's noble that, I don't know, maybe I think it does act as a catalyst for guys. This radical self-development acts as a catalyst for them to look at themselves and go, fuck, I've got to make some changes. Got to make some changes. But yeah. So I think a lot of people don't understand socializing in general. Okay. To socialize in general, you need to be in a flow. You can't just go from a fucking 10-hour study or work session and go be the life of the party. Well, most people can't. They need drinks and so on to do that. So what you do, go out, get yourself in a flow state. Get yourself in a flow state, or just conversing, and that's what you do, basically. That's how you do it. So that's what I did tonight. I'll do a session tomorrow just because I just need to get out of the house. I've been in my area too much I've been in my area this week. Tomorrow I'm going to get out of the house, do a session. And just do the same again. Just go around, fucking compliment, chat to people. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. People, especially, I think, some people have a almost childish, retarded idea that they're owed something just because they do an approach. They're weak fucking ass approaches. They think they're fucking owed something. It's embarrassing, to be honest. Embarrassing to fucking listen to. Anyway, none of us are owed anything. You're not owed anything. Yeah, get over it. And the purpose of approaching is, a lot of times, is you're just doing it to break up your ego and to get used to talking face to face to a beautiful woman. Even tonight, there's a couple of stops I did, and like the first couple, I was like, my brain was kind of like adjusting to that, and they were attractive, but they weren't even that beautiful. But because I've been at home working all week, it's an adjustment. My brain needs to make that adjustment. Okay, so yeah, so that was the purpose of tonight. But let's get into the main topics. I've had a lot of caffeine today, as you can probably tell. I speak a bit faster, I think, when I've had caffeine. I shouldn't. This is not a good way to be speaking, but yeah. So let's get into it. Yeah, I kind of just touched upon. I made a note before I started. The more I actually have understood about daytime approach, the more I've actually realized you begin to get a certain disdain for other men. You begin to get a certain disdain for them, because you see the fraudulence. You see the fraudulence in people. People just living in denial. The fragile egos of people, all the mixed up childish beliefs that people have. And then guys who are like not approaching, or just they're uncomfortable with you approaching, you start to get a certain disdain for that. I had that in the UK, a certain disdain for it. I actually felt sorry for the women in the UK, to tell you the truth. When I went back, I felt sorry for the women. Yeah, the women aren't the greatest, but fuck me. Have you seen the men? Give me a fucking break. It's on us to lead. They would be great if the men were great. I actually felt sorry for the women. And so yeah, you can get a level of disdain. I don't really give a shit though. It is what it is. I don't disdain my close friends. I respect my close friends because they're on it. And it's not even just about women. You just look at what pathetic fucking characters they are. And this is really going to launch me into this first discussion on character. So I titled Money and Looks, okay? Because of a certain influencer called Andrew Tate, okay, who's been pushing this absurd line of money, looks, game, money, looks, game. Despite the fact he may have some money now, but when he started out, he didn't have any serious money at all. Probably didn't even have a couple of million. Yeah, which that sounds like a lot, but on the scale of what actual money in the world, really, if you've got less than 500 million, which is practically everybody, you don't really have any money. Yeah, none of us have any actual real money that can actually make things, big things happen in the world. The 500 is about that's about the entry level. Yeah, it actually is. So anyway, but whatever. So most people, 99.9999999% of people in the world, they don't even have any real money anyway. Even people who thought of as rich, they don't have any really. Yeah. So that in of itself, like in of itself, should, I suppose, I don't know, that should maybe ease people's thoughts. It's like even the person you think is so far ahead of you in the actual real world of moneyed people, up in the upper echelons of this. I know this because I've worked in Monaco for 2 years, Monaco, Monte Carlo, which is the richest place basically in the world. I worked there for 2 years in intimate contact with lots and lots of people, and that's actual money. The people there have got actual money, and they can actually make things happen. So most normal people, you don't really fit into that category. And I don't even know if you would want to be honest. It's a very fucking dysfunctional category. But anyway, that's a fucking side point. What does it mean for approach? What does it actually mean for approach? Money is important because it can be a metric of what you've created. That's my view on it anyway. If it's a metric of what you've created, I think it's great, and we obviously need it to a point as well. We need it to a point as well. Obviously, no one is above money. Obviously, we all have to have money, but like as a metric, as a personal metric for creation, that's a good. It's something that can be useful. I don't think it's not even the most important thing actually, but it's definitely something. It's definitely something important. It's definitely something relevant, should we say? But I've actually never seen people. I've been around so many fucking nights in all over the fucking world. I cannot tell you how. Way more than 1,000 club nights. Way more. I don't know how many. Right? Clubs in the UK, different cities in the UK, in France, in Monte Carlo, in Madrid, in the fucking Caribbean, everywhere, bro. Fucking everywhere. Dubai, all these fucking places, right? I've never seen money game work. I've never seen it work. I've never seen it work. Why is that? I've literally never seen it work. You'd think at some point I'd have seen it work. I've never seen it. Women aren't fucking dumb. Women aren't dumb. Yeah. Women trust their bodies and trust their instincts in a lot of cases. They understand things. Yeah. If you are a repugnant loser but you have money, you can just afford more prostitutes. Yeah. You've got to focus on your character. You've got to focus on your character. You've got to focus on your delivery. You've got to focus on your strength. Maybe depends on the person. It's individual people going to need different things. Most guys are going to be more strength. Some guys actually might be they need a bit more empathy. Yeah. So money just needs to be dismissed. And this is fucking Tate who's obviously perpetuated this. Money's for the guys, man. Money's for your mates. It's to impress your mates. Yeah. And for yourself, for your family, most of all. For your fucking children, you bloody morons. It's for your fucking children. That's why you need money. And for your lifestyle and to treat yourself and all these great things, right? But it's your character, most of all. Obviously, women are attracted to basically two things: biology, which is your physicality. That's number one. Let's just fucking be real about that. That's number one. Yeah. But that's going to buy you time. What they're really going to be attracted to after that is your persona, your character. And that's what they're going to be attracted to. That's what they're going to fall in love with. And so all these retards, like, for example, I don't know, Andrew Tate, the guy, this is why it's the young guys will look to him and go, what a great guy he is. He's my age. We grew up basically in the same society, yeah? I'm from Sheffield. He's from Luton. Luton's much more of a shithole than Sheffield. But he's my age. So I look at someone like that and go, okay, I get he's a good influencer, he's a good marketer. I get what he does. I get what he does. Fine. But like there's some course correction that needs to be done. I actually think overall he was positive. I'll come back to that in a minute. But there's big course correction for any adult over the age of like 20. Yeah, big course correction we need. Personality, character. Yeah, this is actually what's real. Interaction, vibes with the girl, how you look at her. You know what a woman who wants your money is? Who sleeps with you for money? Do you know what they're called? A woman who transacts her body for money. You want to fuck prostitutes? Just go do that then. And I've been in clubs, especially in the south of France, where guys are rolling in that way. And guess what kind of girls they get? Guess what kind of girls they get? They get girls who want their fucking cash. And they do as well. Whatever. It's fucking stupid. It's actually very beta. It's very fucking beta now. This is the second thing I'll come on to. The worship of money, looking up to it and all that type of thing is a very beta characteristic. Because basically what you're saying is, yes, it's okay, it's a social construct, but it really actually is a social construct. Like, it's not something to be overly respected. It's something to be understood, you know, it's not something that actually is worthy of reverence in of itself. The creativity, the dynamism, the organization, the determination, the focus, the team builder, all that stuff, that's actually, and that is where the value is. That is actually where the value is. That's what's respectable and impressive. It's not just a fucking pile of paper. Yeah? So the worship of that is very beta. It's very, very beta. And guys who lead with that, I don't know. What do you want me to fucking say? You know it's fucking wrong. Don't fucking do it. It's like something to pull out of the back pocket a little bit. And actually, I say this, I'll pay for dates and things like that. That's just normal behavior. It's a sort of primal aspect, right? But I'll go on the dates that I want to go to, spending a very minimal amount of money, basically. Not to be tight, but just because, like, until the girl's proven something to me, I'm not going to fucking take her and spend loads of money. I don't want a girl who wants to try and rinse me. I've had a girl like that once, actually, and we got on really well, but it was in her culture. She was Muslim, and her mum always gave her the instruction that you should rinse men as much as possible. And on her first date, she did something to me, which was like, I'd paid for quite a bit of stuff, because we went to loads of places. And we basically spent a whole day together. And there was one thing I was like, oh, just whatever, just get that. And she wouldn't get it. And it was like literally like a fucking can of Coke or something. She waited for me to get it. And I was like, okay. No, it wasn't a can, it was like a £10 worth of shit. I was like, I'll just get that, you know. But we'd already been out for like coffee in the town. Then we went over to a mall. Then we had another coffee. Then we go to the cinema. I got the cinema tickets, that type of thing. So, whatever it was nothing major, but it was just like, okay, just whatever, just buy it. Oh, you just buy that popcorn or whatever it was. You just get that, right? And she made a point of not doing it. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, you want to play that game, do you? Okay. Well, you just lost. So in my own mind, I'm just, because I'm scanning her. Okay, you wanna play that game, do you? That's fine. It's not like I'm not doing my job. I'm doing it. If you want to play that game, I've just remembered that. So I will use you for what you offer. and we'll take it from there. So in my mind, I then used her sexually. Yeah. And I had no qualms about it at all. Because I was like, that's a big tell for me. It's a big tell for me. So you don't want girls like that. You don't want girls like that at all. You want a girl who looks up to you, who respects your character and is engaged by you, and you find stimulating to be around. It's fucking simple. It's simple. Fuck me. Okay. We have a member of the entourage who's a specialist in pulling rich girls. He didn't pay for, he probably didn't pay for anything. No, I don't know, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, I don't know. But he's a specialist in pulling rich girls. So that's money. Your money's for your family. Make your money for your fucking family. Yeah. How many times I can say that? Make your money for your fucking family and for yourself. And the girl she gets the trickle down effect of that. Great. Good for her. You don't need fucking shitloads of money. There's like later points in relationships. It's more in relationships, more than sex. It's more in an actual relationship where money can help you to unlock certain problems. So for example, because I travel internationally, there's been a couple of like girls I've been pretty keen on, and I'm not willing to give up my travel lifestyle. I thought, wow, okay, what's this actually going to cost me per year to keep flying her out and things like this? And obviously it's an increase in costs. So yeah, that would be a good reason to like, that would be a good reason for me to, that'd be a motivator for money. Yeah. But it's like, that's at the level of a fucking relationship, of like basically a love relationship. Yeah. That's when it starts to come in, and that's just pure practicality basically. Or like, yeah, just maybe, yeah, some basic, like I want to do a holiday with this girl where we bond together or whatever, whatever it is. She needs some fucking medicine or something. Like, I'll send her some money for that, whatever it was. That's with girls who've proven themselves to you time and time and time and time again for like at least 6 months, bro. At least, bro. Come on. Okay, so that's the money game. If girls are coming after you for that, discard it. If you're trying to lead with that, just accept you've got low self-esteem and you lack social skills. And you're probably arrogant. And you need to humble yourself. Yeah? I'm arrogant as well. I'm arrogant about different things, but I need to humble myself when I go into the street. The street has to humble me. Lots of things in life humble you. Yeah? It's not bad to be arrogant, but you have to be able to come off your fucking throne, come down, roll your sleeves up, get your hands dirty, and take your licks in anything you do. Yeah? It's a balance, isn't it, between justified arrogance, but then also coming down and getting involved. Okay, this is a hard-hitting one tonight, isn't it? Group, okay, so that was money. Let's talk, yeah, I think I briefly mentioned looks as well. I look good, but, I'm not fucking, I don't know. I'm not doing looks maxing, whatever it fucking is, too much. I mean, I don't fucking know, dude. I go to the gym. Fucking, I've shaved today. That looks quite good. Got a good look. Yeah. It's pretty fucking simple. Fashion-wise, go around cool, fashionable people. Go to some cool events. Go to some club events. Go to some social events. Go to some soirees. Go to a gentleman's club. Whatever you fucking do. Go around people you think are cool. Look how they dress. And if you like their style, copy them. Literally just look on the internet and buy the same stuff. Look into the fitting and things like this. So clothes show like a level of coolness and social intelligence. So that's why they're important. So yeah, clothes are good. That's not looks maxing, dude. That's like men have been doing that forever. It stirs a bit of style, a bit of panache, a bit of, that's always been the case, It's if anything, it's more on a status level. Just a little touch of status, a little touch of flair, Yeah, I mean, for example, like Napoleon, for example, he had a real flair in the way that he dressed. He's the greatest military leader in history. The most consecutive battles won ever by any general in history. He's the GOAT. Napoleon was the absolute fucking don. And just like he was a very swashbuckling guy as well. So even like the biggest alpha of all time, he was he had some style to him as well. So that's all good. Gym, fucking going to the gym, you should be doing that anyway. That's a minimum standard. It's just like that's minimum standard. How can you be physical if you can't fucking? How can you be physical with a woman if you can't do a push-up? Give me a fucking break. How are you going to satisfy a hungry, ravenous sex demon? Yeah, which is what women are, or some of these women anyway, most of them. How are you going to satisfy? What are you going to do with her? You know. So, yeah, working out is good, and it's also a privilege to work out as well if you can. It's an actual privilege. People, this is the disdain and disgust. People who just don't. I just have like a level of disgust for them. The weakness is so disgusting to me. I can't even comprehend it. What are you doing? You can't do 50 push-ups. Why not? There's like 70-year-olds who can do that. It's minimum standards, man. So yeah, you don't have to be a fucking gym nut, but there's minimum standards of physical health, physical training that all men should have. Just basics, man. Fuck me. So that's the look side of things. Anything else? Yeah, what I will say, this is a bit more of a compassionate side. I understand why young men are being brainwashed, because I was brainwashed as well. I was brainwashed by David Beckham and all that marketing. And what you realize as you get older, much older, is it's all just a way to make you spend money on products. All this image pushed to you to basically feminize you. It's just a way to make you spend money on products. That's it. The way that like women in the UK, for example, they've got all these fake eyelashes, they look like transsexuals. All of that is just money. That everything expensive, like all of this shit, like men and women women don't need to wear makeup. They don't need to do shit. Yeah, young, attractive women don't need to do shit. They just need to show up. They're pheromone enough. Guys are going to want to inseminate. But it all sells product. The beauty industry sells product. And they realized after a point, hey, we can get the men into this as well. Yeah. So you've been marketed to. Beckham was a poster boy. Obviously, he's a great footballer. And he doesn't give two shits about, he doesn't even understand any of this shit. So, yeah, but it's all just to sell products, Calvin Klein bullshit, whatever. Yeah. You're being sold into cockery, basically. You've been marketed into cockery. The amount we're marketed to is fucking unbelievable. And it's something that's like, fuck me. You create your own identity based on like the marketing you've been exposed to is fucking insane. But anyway, well, what we're going to do, I don't fucking know. So I understand it. But it's ramped up and it's got way worse because now you've got like, not only is it just clothes, now it's gone to like people fucking getting steroids, fucking plastic surgery, all this type of shit, man. It's gone fucking crazy. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. It's not even to say don't do it. I'm not saying don't improve your looks. I'm not saying even don't like cane the gym. If you want to go and improve your looks and get your looks really on point, go ahead. But that's not going to achieve what you want to achieve. It's not especially not in daytime approach or nighttime really. Or in life in general, you know. Like you go to the job interview, look like a nice little pretty Ken doll. That's a good start. Can you talk? Are you persuasive? You're confident? You're charismatic? Are you competent? So that's looks. Is there anything else there? Yeah, as I say, I understand why young men in particular, there's always been a bit more vanity in young men. That's absolutely fine. But I can understand why it's got so fucking demented. Because their young men are much more easy to influence. They don't have the years of clock in the world to see what's going on. They just assume everything's normal. which you can't do these days because there's so much marketing, not just on. See, we just had the advertisements. Now people have got 24/7 fucking media streaming into their brain. So it's non-stop now. Yeah. So I understand it. I completely understand it. That part of things I'm fairly compassionate about. It's just a process you've got to realize. And I was almost the worst of the worst when I was younger, so I get it. But you've got to realize it's, to be fair, I was the worst of the worst, but I always knew I did have to take action. I always knew that. I never deluded. There was no option. There was no apps. There was nothing. Yeah, you always had to take action in if you're a millennial guy. Yeah, so we did. Yeah. Fortunately, millennial girls were fucking nymphos as well, so it all worked out fine. So yeah, that's the last I'm going to say on looks. There's the 1 in 1,000 guys who are good looking enough to get women to actually go for them off the bat. Often they almost exude like something hormonal as well, which is kind of weird. It's kind of interesting, but that's so fucking rare. And actually, usually those women are like the 6s and 7s, because the 6s and 7s, they don't have much to lose, like dignity wise and stuff. So they'll go for a guy like that. But 9s and 10s ain't gonna throw, like real hot girls. They're not throwing themselves at anyone. No, they actually know their worth. Like an intelligent one as well. Yeah, they're not throwing themselves at some guy. So anyway, next note here is group game. John, Bitcoin, you can go fuck yourself, mate. I'll remove you now. Get out of my fucking chat. Get lost. Yeah. Next up is group dynamics and group game. How is he coming back? I need to get this guy out. Okay. Hide user. Okay. Bye, John. Yeah. Next up, group game. Right, we're all solo artists. Yeah. In especially like the Entourage, we're all international dudes, so we're all over the shop. Group games where it's at, boys. Group games where it's at. Just a fact. Group game is where it's at. Yeah. You want to wreck. Group game is where it's at. And especially if you're a lower level, you're intermediate level, you literally need to be in a group. Yeah, you need to be. I would say yeah. Now I can do what I can do solo now. But when I was 28, for example, 27, 28, I was always out in groups, and I was decent enough. And then yeah, developed. But you want to wreck, you got to be in a group. It just is what it is. Nightlife, you want to be in groups. And you should be developing a gang anyway. That is how men thrive. We thrive in gangs. We are gang operators. Yeah, this is gang warfare. That's basically what the world is. The world is just a lot of gang warfare. That's all it really is. That's what politics is. That's what countries are. What different businesses are. You want to form a fucking gang. Yeah. And you can actually work together. You can work off each other. I was thinking today about, I just walk in and I was thinking, I just doing some stops and talking to the girls a bit. And then I had a little flashback of a girl I got with who was from Greece when I was 27. So it's, yeah, 12 years ago. How time flies. And I saw her when she came in to this bar, and she looked real proud of herself. And she looked like she almost looked like she wanted to fuck. And the girl I was with at the time, there was a girl I was with who was in our group. She was kind of hanging out with our group, and she actually later became my girlfriend. But she was like, man, she looks like that girl, like looks like she's trying to get laid or something. She just looks horny. And later on, I took the girl who'd come in, I took her out to dance, and then like just a little bit, a couple of looks of tension, and then My mates, straight away, they knew what the fuck was going on. My friend from Colombia, he said to her mate, "Oh, we're going to have a party next door. Do you want to come?" So we get these two out. There's some little fag who tries to, sorry for my language, but YouTube probably fucking get me done for hate speech. But anyway, there's some guy who tries to, this guy, he was all right, but he tries to come into the party, and we're just like, yeah, sorry, mate, nah. Which, by the way, there's a lot of this that happens in nightlife. There's a lot of getting guys away from your girls. There's a lot of that because guys are very desperate, and they'll just cling on to any opportunity they see, shamelessly. No dignity at all. And he was trying to get into the party and stuff. We were just like, nah, sorry, mate. So it's me, my friend from Colombia, my friend from the Middle East. We go up to this guy's flat. The girls come up. We have a party up there, and I get with the girl from Greece. And I didn't say a single word to her. I didn't say a single fucking word. Not one word to her, because she didn't speak a word of English. I don't speak a word of Greek. I got with her that night. How did that happen? My friend from Colombia, he got it. He's like, okay, yeah, my mate can pull here. We'll sort the situation out. We'll sort the situation out. If I just took her number, nothing would have happened. But he sorted the situation out, and I've done the same for him. Like, there's so many nights where there would be a girl or something. I'd look around and I'd see what he was doing or something. I'd be like, straight away, I'd clock the situation out. Okay, yeah. And he was the same with me. Like, any situation that because we were running this like wolf pack for a couple of years, any situation that we had going on, whether it was a girl, a side chick, whatever it was, we always knew each other's situation. We clocked it, and we just helped each other constantly. Yeah. How useful is that? How useful is that to your personal life? Yeah, extremely. We're starting to do in the entourage now in terms of the professional side of things. And this is just what we should be doing, operating in gangs. We're starting to help each other, trying to put people together, connect people, give each other advice, different things, right? Working together. Yeah. That's how we become dangerous. We become dangerous when we're in a fucking gang. Yeah. That's when we become dangerous. We pool resources. Yeah. But in a way which is we're still very individual. But it's just understand it. It's like, the better he does, the better he does, that's just good thing for the world. But then it's also going to be good for me as well. It's also going to be good for that guy, but it's good for all of us, yeah? And so that massively applies to approach, but especially nighttime as well. You can just have more fun in groups. You can just have more fun. We had an entourage meet up in Manchester, and it's just like so much fun, you know. You do approaches, it's like you don't even care about the session because you're just having fun, right? So gangs are where it's at, groups are where it's at. Yeah, that's pretty simple, isn't it, really? The world is just gangs. Okay, so we're at 38 minutes. I've got some interesting notes written down here, you know. Who else should I go in on? I'm feeling a bit spicy tonight. Okay, I'll come back to this. Think about who you worship, or not worship, but think about who you look up to and what that figure represents. Think about that very carefully. Consider that very carefully. And what that says about you as well. What do you look up to? What do you look up to? Sometimes, you know, it's very difficult to find people in your own industry to look up to. They're actually worthy of people being looked up to. I mean, if I think about, I've got pretty, I would say fairly, I just my own standards, should we say, of what I actually think is awesome and what I look up to. It's different for everybody, of course. But think about that very carefully, and be open to sort of change as well. Be open to change. It does vary over time. When I was younger, I used to think, I say early 30s, I used to think Kennedy was fucking sick. I didn't really understand his politics and stuff like that. I just thought he was fucking dope. He was there with his brother. You know, they were managing. To be fair, they did manage the Cuban Missile Crisis pretty fucking well. To be fair, fucking contrast that with anyway. I'm not gonna go into the politics route, but I thought it was fucking cool. He also had tons of chicks as well. Tons of chicks. I think he banged Marilyn Monroe and just had all these babes, and they're pretty saucy, you know, back in those days. People think that modern day is racy. It wasn't at all, man. They were proper freaks, man. The stuff they were doing back then. I thought Kennedy was fucking cool. Obviously, I thought Nietzsche was fucking cool, and I still think he is cool. He's a literal prophet. You know what I mean? He's a literal prophet. Yeah, Friedrich Nietzsche. I've come to appreciate J. Seymour, Nazareth, Yeshua ben Joseph. Really appreciate him a lot more. And other figures as well. Now I look to mostly military, to be honest, because it's like this is where mostly military in the arts, mostly military in the arts. These are the guys that I look up to. You know, and some business guys as well. I do think are very have a nobility in them as well. Definitely, there's a guy Richard Branson in the UK. Younger people won't remember this, but I remember being a child, and there was this guy. He started this company called Virgin. The record store is a big company, glamorous company, sexy company. But it was just him. Like he was out doing. He did like these trips, like hot air balloon trips across the Atlantic. He started trying to do the longest fucking hot air balloon flights in the world, like a proper adventurer. Like he's fucking like he's having to die. He's having to parachute um out of his fucking hot air balloon because it's gonna crash and shit like that. Like serious fucking stuff. I was like, okay, yeah, that's actually a guy who's worthy of looking up to, or not looking up to, just respecting. Like, yeah, he's fucking dynamic. This is what you want to do. If you've attained that level in commerce, you should fucking do this. He goes and buys a fucking island called Necker Island, yeah, and instead of doing the disgusting stuff that some of these people do on their islands, he just makes it this cool entrepreneurial base, keeps all these wild fucking animals there. Absolutely fucking done. He was a junkie, okay. Dude, I'm gonna kick you out of here. Sorry, dude. Yeah, people say stupid things. I'm just gonna kick them out. He was a junkie. Okay, maybe he was a junkie. Maybe he was an adrenaline junkie. Good. It's better that he's addicted to being adrenaline and fucking buying islands than heroin. So someone like that, and I also think Musk as well is incredibly noble. I think he's incredibly noble. What he's been doing. Fuck me. You know, whatever you think about how the world works and everything, he basically saved the USA from a fucking Maoist regime. Yeah. So guys like that, I think, are worthy of respect. But just the guys who are super wealthy, like Bezos or Gates, do you know what I mean? Are they worthy of masses of respect? I don't fuck. To me, honestly, no. I wouldn't swap places with either of those two guys. I genuinely wouldn't. No way. No way. You think Bill Gates? Do you think Bill Gates really gets like an organic respect from people? Maybe he does a little bit. Do you think he gets it from women? Maybe a little bit because of his power and stuff. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? He's probably got some self-esteem issues. So the guys I look up to, yeah, is, you know, it's your Caesars, your Napoleons. A guy from the modern world is a guy called Christian Craighead. Look him up, Christian Craighead. He did the largest single hostage rescue ever, I think, ever recorded. He saved 700 hostages single-handedly against a group of terrorists in Nairobi on his own. Yeah, he's a member of the SAS, and he went off clock without permission in 2019 for this mission. And then this the whole Christian Craighead. Just look him up. The whole story is completely mental. Yeah, on his own. Yeah, solo against a team of terrorists, rescued 700 people. And then already about 30 had been slaughtered. So someone like that, I wouldn't say I worship him, but I definitely I respect him greatly for what he did. And then artists as well, just great artists who produce something of great noble worth. Fucking Picasso, Jesus Christ, or an architect, Gaudi in Barcelona. There's noble kings from the past. Fucking, I'm always struck by Constantine, the first and last Constantine the First, who founded Constantinople in the 300s, and Constantine the 13th, who, when Mehmed II attacked the city, said, "Fuck you." When it was game over, I ain't leaving. I am going to die on my shield. And he literally died in battle, and he had the option to leave. Became a saint, an Orthodox saint, because he refused to leave a 1,000-year-old empire. Fucking hell. That's worthy of respect. People like that die on their fucking shield. It's nobility of character that I respect. Nobility of character is what I respect above everything else. And then, talents and creativity as well. And then, the money side of things, that's a natural outgrowth of that. It's a natural outgrowth of it. And obviously being an operator as well, being skilled as well, negotiator, all these types of things, So yeah, be careful what you worship. Be careful what you look up to. And this is where the influencer side of things comes in. I see like people now, it's very interesting, like being a 39-year-old man and looking at someone like, for example, this influencer culture, like looking at people like Logan Paul, just like complete clowns. But even someone like the guy from the UK, the gym guy, what's he called? I forget. There's this guy from Stoke who's a big stacked guy from Stoke. He's got the fake tan shit going on. He's got his little fucking haircut, and it's just like, he's a very unimpressive person to look up to, in my opinion. Just someone who takes steroids and lifts in the gym. Essentially just a sort of rent boy, basically. And we used to call them rent boys. Which, if you don't know, is a homosexual male prostitute. It's kind of like, that's what people look up to. Why? For what reason? Why? Do you know what I mean? I don't understand it. In like civilizations, like previous times, even like the womanizers, like the sexy womanizer guys, they were not seen as the cool guys. They were seen as like, the hierarchy was basically military leadership and the kind of the strong, literally the physically strong or the brave. They were basically the pinnacle of society in these normal societies like Rome, Greece, Athens. They're the pinnacle, right? That's the truly noble man. That's the ideal. The sort of Lothario sex god, the sex demon, they were kind of okay. They're kind of fun, cool guys. Yeah, awesome guys. Great. They weren't seen as the top. They weren't seen as the top at all. And then the kind of like, they're kind of like, they were sort of like rent boys, basically, in a way. They were kind of seen like that. It's like, yeah, it's great, but it's not the real shit, And then like almost, to be honest, almost bottom of the pile was the sort of, goody two shoes husband, that was almost bottom, which is a bit of a shame, but yeah, anyway. But yeah, I look at these modern influencers and I think, do people actually look up to this person? Like, why? Is it because Maybe if it's on a business angle, I suppose, if they've built a good business, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. But like, yeah, it's just interesting. Trying to think of any influences I come across, because this is your North Star, basically. Your North Stars. Yeah, I find it hard to pick people out. There's a president who's a bit of an influencer in El Salvador called Bukele. He's a sort of influencer president, but he's very Imperial Rome. He's a very interesting character. He's almost like maybe an Ottoman, something like that. He's reduced crime. He's basically turned El Salvador from being the most dangerous country in the world to the safest, I think. I literally think one of the safest in the world. It's called Bukele. Look him up. Yeah. So he's an influencer in a way. I respect him a lot. Respect him a lot. You know what I mean? Commands respect. Yeah. So anyway, just thinking about who you respect, who you look up to. And in the space of relationships, fuck me, there's basically very few people that are worth looking up to. Online anyway. You'll get better advice and you'll get better angles from just conversing with decent guys around you. You'll get better angles from that than you will from these freaks online. These fucking weird extremists online. Yeah, it's a fucking clown show, isn't it, really? People, it's like projections of fakeness, and people just don't handle just really what's in front of them. The reality in front of them is so much more simple. You know, Ephraim's proven it every fucking week. Christian's proved it for fucking 4 years online, and they're still young as well. They're still, you know, fucking developing. We're all developing. You know, that's different because that's online based. They're actually doing real interactions, which you can see. I don't really have any footage on my channel, so yeah, but it's whatever. I'm not bullshitting. I just don't happen to have the footage. But anyway, yeah, women are the side effect. Women are the side effect. Women are just a side effect. They're a side effect of your life. And as well as I've sort of gone on in my travel journey these last 4 years, there's a friend in the entourage who we were going back and forth a bit this week, and he said, you know, why didn't it work out with those girls? Because there's some girls I was fond of. I was like, you know what, they were kind of like a side effect of my life at that point, but I'm not willing to give up my travel lifestyle, and at the moment, I can't bring someone in on that level. And even if I could do it, maybe I could, but even if I could, I would feel like I'm basically saying to them, give up your life to come travel with me, which is a big thing to say to somebody, because, you know, so yeah, but women are the side effect. Women are the side effect. There's just not even a goal, really. They're not even a goal to pursue. You will get a girlfriend. You just approach. You will get a girlfriend. Like it's inevitable. They're biologically made to be attracted to men. They hide it, but they fucking are. You see it all the time. Yep. Game is simple. Talk to women. Face them straight on, like this. I'm going side on just to be dramatic, but face them straight on. Look them in the eye. Yep. Face them straight on. Look them in the eye. Talk to them normally. Some of them will be attracted to you. A lot of them will. Yeah, and then it's just you take it from there. The last thing I'm going to talk about, actually, I talked about Tate earlier. I'm not actually name dropping in this. I don't really give a shit. These people are just nothing special at all. They're special as marketers, basically. Yeah, last thing I'm going to say here is actually about Peterson. I'm going to go into Jordan Peterson here. Yeah. I almost did a video on him the other day. I think I did, but I don't think I ended up putting it up. I think he's overall a pretty good guy. I think Tate overall is a good influence on. He's a good counterpoint to the absolute ridiculous, nonsense that's been going on in the West. He is a valid counterpoint, Tate. So I'll definitely give him his due there. And I know it's had an impact. It's actually had an impact, especially on the very young kids because of TikTok, which it's almost like brainwashing in a direction. Actually, I'd rather see them in that direction than in some of the other directions. But I'm gonna break down Peterson a little bit as well. So Peterson overall has had a great impact, I think, for a lot of young people. But one of the issues with Peterson is he talks about a lot of he talks about everything, and naturally, we only have certain areas of expertise, but he goes everywhere, and he goes in some areas where he clearly has no expertise, and one of them is basically women. If you look at his own personal life, I know his story quite well because I've watched a lot of him, maybe 5-6 years ago. I think everyone has. And he fell in love with a woman who became his wife when he was like 9. So, and he was the backup for her prom, and then the guy, the real date fucked her off, and then he swooped in. So Peterson was a backup basically. And then I don't know what happened. I think they separated for a bit, and then she probably went. They separated a little bit, and then I don't know what happened, but they got back together. But it sounds like he was basically a backup beater for his wife, which is a fairly pathetic fucking scenario to be in. It's not the correct scenario, but anyway, whatever. Poor guy. And he's just basically probably only been with 1 or 2 women, maybe. I'd say maybe definitely less than 5. Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily about numbers, but I just think it's a combination of that and also coming from an obvious position of weakness, being desperate to be selected, and it's just the whole thing just reeks of desperation and cluelessness. I think he's got Asperger's syndrome, to be honest with you. When I've seen him, I've even seen him sometimes talking when he's not. It's been like in interviews where he doesn't realize he's live at the start, and he looks to me like someone who's got Asperger's syndrome. Or probably fairly, not even that mild either, to be honest. So on the topic of women, he doesn't really get it. He just doesn't get it. I've heard him say things like, "If you should work 14 hours a day so that you can tolerate yourself," or something like that. Or so that you're not a complete piece of shit. And he's got this very beta way of looking at how you need to work constantly to prove yourself to a woman. No, that's not why you need to work. That's some beta fucking bullshit. If you want to work like that, it's just because you're driven and you're ambitious. It's not for a fucking woman. Give me a break, man. You can get a woman without doing that. Fucking hell. And this idea that, to get a good woman, you have to be an amazing guy. No, you fucking don't. It varies fucking loads. It varies loads. There's women who are actually really fucking good, and they only seem to be interested in guys who are not that great. It's fucking hilarious. So there's all sorts, man. There's fucking all sorts out there. There are no rules. Peterson's got this kind of autistic schema, this Asperger's schema of how it all works. He just doesn't know anything about women. I'm sorry, he just doesn't. Just look at him. Just look at him. Listen to him talk. You think that guy knows anything? He doesn't. He fucking doesn't, dude. So on that front, I would say, discard most of his advice. But on other areas, I think he makes very sensible points. Lascara, you male or female? I can't see from your photo. I'm not making a slide that I can't see what's in your photo. Is that a mask or something? But on other points, I think he's made some fair points, and I think particularly very young people, I think he's had some good female. Okay, so you agree with me that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Fine. Do you find him attractive, Lascar? Do you think he's the authority on women? Do you think he's had lots of sexy, beautiful girlfriends? You're a girl, you must know. But do you know what I mean? I think it's pretty obvious to any woman looking at him or any guy who knows what's going on. This guy, why are you talking to him? He didn't fucking know anything. Yeah, guys actually would listen to in terms of like just look at and stuff. Who are There are film stars actually legitimately. Yeah, exactly. There are film stars because you think about, okay, who would know, like what guy would know the insider tips on all women's dirty dark secrets and what their fantasies are and all this type of thing. Yeah, clinical, exactly. Not social, like the real world, right? It's not social. What kind of guys would know that are in the public eye? The guys that would know it are not guys who are actually going to be talking about it. There's just a couple of guys I can think of. One of them is the actor called the blonde actor. What's he called? And he is very good looking, to be fair. Um, he wrote a book called Green Lights. Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, you can see in his book like he's had a lot of experiences, and obviously he's a Hollywood actor. You know what I mean? He's a good looking Hollywood leading man. Okay, who actually he got on steroids as well for a bit, but he's got a lot of experience. He's an interesting one to watch. He's a sort of just anything he says probably worth actually listening to. Um, there's another guy as well who plays the lead role in Sicario. What's his name? Let me look him up now. But he's a bit more cynical, but he has banged Scarlett Johansson when she was in her prime. Let me have a look what his name is. Benicio del Toro. Benicio del Toro. Yeah, that guy, you can fucking see it in him. And there's a few stories circulating and stuff like that. Yeah, a man who exactly this guy. A man who was married for 30 years can't give dating advice to men today. Yeah. It's not, it's more, I think it's more even than that. It's just that even before he was married, he's got no experience. So even before he was married, he's got no experience. So like let's say Sean Connery, right? Sean Connery, I think he might be dead now, but he's probably in his 80s. I think he's been married, had a French wife from when he was in his 40s. Yeah, that guy could definitely give you some advice. There's guys in like, you know, or just very, very severe guys who've got a great whatever. But anyway, that's just my point about anyway, Peterson. Just don't take his advice on women. But yeah, public guys in the public eye, maybe Benicio del Toro would be another one. Just look at him, just watch him. Just watch him. Yeah. And that's it, just watch him. And then yeah, it's pretty simple, to be honest. It's pretty simple in terms of relationships. It's pretty fucking simple as a man. You just have to, well, this is how I operate. I just set my stall out. This is what it is. This is my stall. This is my house. This is my boat. This is my kingdom here. Here's how it is. You can come in, enjoy the facilities. You better make yourself useful in some way or another. And in a lot of ways, to be honest. Otherwise, it's going to be a short boat trip, and then I'll be dropping you off. That's how my life runs. Yeah. Someone's going to come into my life, they've got to add to it. And like, my life is fucking sick. So I've got something to actually, bring someone into. And that's basically how it operates. I don't know what other guys are doing, but that's how I'm doing it. Yeah, I think it's the only way, to be honest. The women who've been with me have been very happy, very, very happy. So, yeah, that's for me is the best way to operate. Let's have a look. Yeah, so like, where are you from, Lascara? That sounds like an interesting name. Are you from the USA? So I'm quite old school. I'm quite an old school. Like, I might be described as a misogynist in the modern world, but I'm not misogynist because I don't. That's a stupid word to throw at people. I don't hate women at all, but I am. I am sexist in a sense. Yeah, Las Vegas. Wow, wow. But I'm a traditionalist. That's probably a better way of talking about it. But I'm not even that traditional in a sense. I just believe in biology, basically. Um, so yeah, the US scene is fucking mental. I can't even. I've got a few friends in America now, and fuck me, it's a mental scene, man. The country is so demented because of. I have to be honest, seeing Americans on my travels is fucking man. What a number has been done on that population. Fuck me. But there's definitely shining lights there, but fuck me, there's a lot of bullshit. What else did I have here? Yeah, and I've noticed also we can have a little chat, let's go in a minute, but I'm just gonna finish off the my last point here. My last point here was, this is an interesting point. For all of the people that we look up to, a lot of these people have got personality disorders. A lot of them, one way or another. I'm just thinking of influencers. I mentioned Tate earlier on in this live. I just mentioned Peterson then. Another person I wrote down here was Obama. You think, what do those three people have got to do with it? What do they have to do with anything with each other? Okay, so childhood development, right? Childhood development. Look at the life of Jordan Peterson. Did you know that when he was a child, he was put up a year in school at around 7 or 8 years old? Did you know that? Because he was a smart kid for his age. If you couple that with potential Asperger's as well, that's a fairly traumatic thing for a kid to experience at that age. He's going up a year, and he wasn't a big kid in his own year, so he's in a year group with lots of kids who are way bigger than him. He's going to have all these inferiorities and crazy things. I would not have liked to go up a year in school. No way. No way. That would have been fucking horrible. So that's one. That is actually quite a trauma. Yeah. Andrew Tate. His parents divorced when he was 9. His mum moved to the UK to Luton, which is a fucking shithole. And his dad, who already was kind of semi-abusive, to be honest, but in a more psychological, but also probably was a good dad in a certain way as well, kind of extreme and mental, but that's not really the point. So it's already quite a wild upbringing anyway. But then he is ripped out of that and he's put into fucking Luton as an American kid. Yeah. In poor Luton with a single mum who's fucking broke. That's actually a major trauma. That's a major fucking trauma. To be ripped out of your home, to be ripped away from your father, who is your coach and you worship, but he's also kind of abusive to you. That's a major fucking trauma. It's a major trauma. Obama, 8, 9 years old. First of all, he doesn't know his dad. His dad's a weird guy from Kenya. So he doesn't know his dad. His mum is involved with the fucking CIA, let's be honest. What the fuck was she doing out in Malaysia? His mum was CIA. Obama's mum was CIA. But anyway, that's not really the point. Is he gets moved out there at 9. He goes from Hawaii, from being a mixed race kid in Hawaii, which is probably passable, but with a single mum. He gets moved out to Indonesia. Fucking Indonesia, yeah? That's a major fucking trauma for a child. It's a major fucking trauma. You moved out from somewhere to where you don't speak any of the fucking language. Nobody looks anything fucking like you. Can you imagine how much a mixed race fucking kid, American kid, would have got stared at in Indonesia? You fucking kidding me? Yeah, same age, 8, 9 years old. All of these people have had a big trauma at 8 or 9 years old, like quite significant, literally being ripped out of one environment, put into a different one. That's actually a major thing, probably with no support system in place for them. What happens there can happen with this is basically this how narcissism can develop. You create a fake persona because the real you is so fucking scared and petrified and so kind of beaten down. A fake persona is the only way you can survive. And eventually the fake persona literally takes over. Yeah, literally takes over. I've heard Tate say things like you want a hot girlfriend because you want people to respect you for the, like, it wasn't even that, it was even weirder. That is even slightly more normal than what he said. Where it's like he's thinking he needs to get other people's his sense of self is based on other people's how other people see him. This ain't fucking good, man. This is not good. This is narcissism. Yeah, I think Obama was big in that respect as well. If you ask yourself, who is Obama really? Who is he? You can't really say. You can't really say. And I think that the post-Obama regime, people have started to look and go, who even was that fucking guy? You know, it was all a big act, obviously, at the time. And obviously he's a politician, so we know they act. But it's just an interesting... The more I look back on him, I'm like, yeah, he's actually got some kind of, yeah, savior, messianic kind of narcissism almost. Like it's an interesting and it's a very aloof, holier than thou way of speaking, despite the fact, you know, a lot, like he made some he did some appalling things. I mean, that campaign they fucking did in, I'm getting off topic from relationships here, but that campaign in fucking Libya and Yemen, like, no, the irony of a black president who's fucking, nobody has bombed more Africans for a long time than Obama. Fucking wrecked Libya, dude. Anyway, so yeah, you see these people, they've got these fucking traumas, people that we look up to, these severe pathologies. It's very fucking disturbing. Yeah, you want to fucking be careful who you look up to, because look into their past as well. I used to really dig Alan Watts, the Buddhist guy, and I still think he's an amazing speaker, and he's got an incredible mind. He had an incredible mind. But then I looked into him and I learned he was an alcoholic, and then also his daughter just mentioned a few things. Not that he was just like basically a shit dad, just very selfish, kind of like, you know, my lifestyle of hedonism is more important than my children. And he was also an alcoholic. And I was like, well, how can you be enlightened if you're a fucking alcoholic, dude? I don't purport to be enlightened. I'm addicted to caffeine. I'm addicted to protein bars. Yeah. I can't be teaching anyone about enlightenment. I can't. I'm just doing what I can do. I've got some answers and observations here and there, but yeah, when you think you've got everyone's answer and actually your own self is completely fucked, it's a weird place. Okay, so let's have a look, Lascara, because you mentioned a few things here. Let's have a look here. So yeah, mass psychosis, savior syndrome, Messiah complex. High achievers often have psychotic and sociopathic backgrounds from being in a state of survival at a young age. Well, I'm a fairly high achiever, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really talk about it on this channel because this is a relationship channel, and it's just basically this is an after hours channel for me and my mates in the entourage. We do daytime cold approach. That's our kind of thing. But we also do a lot of business and things like this. But yeah, high achievers often have sociopathy, being in a state of survival at a young age. Yeah, I can see that. I think if you're the oldest sibling, often there's more expectation from parents. There's often that. I was quite good anyway. Yeah, but anyway, this is interesting. I'm not going to go into my whole background there. There was something unusual about my childhood, which I think made me I really fucking, I can clock people fast. I can clock people fast. Um, Having no control turns you into a person that has a propensity to be in control. Yeah, that's interesting. Uh, that exactly believes that his person and alter ego is 007. 99.99% have childhood traumas. See, that last part, I don't fully buy into that. I don't buy into that. Um, if you're talking about high achievers, maybe I can. Exceptional achievers, yeah, maybe. Um, I don't know though. I know a lot of very high achieving people who say the main reason they achieve so much is because they had a great childhood, they have a very loving family, and they just wanted to go out into the world and just do fantastically well. And people who've achieved on a quite an extreme level, and maybe they had some inferiority, maybe here and there, but yeah. Um, I think we've got an over pathologization of society, of things that happen to people in childhood. Um, a lot of people have got quite normal backgrounds and are fine. You know, I see it in my work. You get all these fucking people coming in now thinking that they've got this, that, and the other, and you just think, no, you're actually just a fucking idiot. You've got no problems. That's your problem. You don't have any problems. You're making them up. You know, there's some places this is a really, if you keep telling yourself you're traumatized every day, well, guess what's gonna fucking, do you think you're gonna clear the trauma? No. And even if you're not traumatized, you're gonna make something up. So yeah, I've seen it too much, and it varies obviously, but there's definitely a lot of people out there now who've got no actual issues, who've never experienced fucking anything, and they think they've got all these traumas. It's actually quite embarrassing to people who've actually experienced like hardcore like violence and just crazy things. It's actually almost sickening to listen to be honest. But anyway, um, but yeah, I mean, it does make you wonder. It does make you wonder. Um, so I think this live is going to draw to a close. Thank you, Lascara. It's been interesting to hear your comments. Thank you for the coherent comments. Actually, they're the best comments of the day. Um, well, I'll stay on to talk to you for a minute. What you say you're from Las Vegas? How is Las Vegas? Do you work in like the gambling sector and stuff like that? Do you work in casinos and shit? Oh, thank you for subscribing. Never been to Las Vegas. It doesn't hold any appeal to me at all. The desert does, Nevada does. The actual city though, yeah, a resort. It's a good angle to be fair, because there's so much work there. So much fucking work there. It's like it's just major fucking tourist place 24/7. I bet you see some sights, don't you there? I bet you see some sights in Sin City. Hmm? You know what reality is, huh? I don't doubt that at all. That's actually, yeah, extreme places like that are good because they teach you about humanity. You gets you out of your shell where you think everything's all one thing, and actually you see that type of place. It's like fuck me. There's a hell of a lot of shit in this world, man. Crazy high stakes gamblers, people drinking, prostitution, all the vices, man. All the vices. Yeah, everything you see in the movies you experience here. I bet. Do you go out to the surrounding areas, like the country? You know, that it looks nice, all the desert and stuff like that. I'd like to fucking get out there. That's probably what I'd do. Go to the deserts. I wouldn't go with Las Vegas. Fucking yeah, opulence. There's poverty there. That's interesting. Yeah, I suppose all the workers and stuff like that. That's interesting. Well, yeah, mountains and desert landscapes. Yeah, it does look fucking sensational. I'm out in Bosnia right now. I'm English, but I'm in Bosnia right now. And we've got some tremendous mountains in Bosnia, Sarajevo. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. So I'll probably walk one tomorrow. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Um, I had my little cold approach session earlier on. That was good. Spoke to some beautiful Bosnian girls. I'm gonna go out tomorrow, do a bit of socializing, get myself around the town. Maybe see if I can find myself a Bosnian girlfriend. I like the girl in the protein bar shop. She likes me as well, so I might do that, and then maybe go walk up a mountain or something at some point in the afternoon. So peace and love, Josefsky.